I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Global Watchman News. My name is Lori Swan, and I hope you guys are all doing well. If you are in the live chat, we do ask that you keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms we're utilizing tonight. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when we go live. So, Ernie, what day is it today?
Today is Saturday, September 24th, the year 2022.
And does today mean anything?
We discussed it quite a few times already this week, involving a certain gentleman in Germany saying today will be the day that we will remember what will happen on September 24th.
Right. And we know that immediately brought to mind, the three other events in our modern history where, we could say we knew where we were. First one being, and for the first two, I was not alive, just to put the record out there. I'm old, but I'm not that old. The first one would be Pearl Harbor. The second one would be the assassination of John F. Kennedy. And the third one would be 9/11. So when we heard these things, Ernie, we were kind of concerned. Our ears kind of perked up, didn't they?
Sure did. And today, my spider senses were correct.
Exactly. And for those of you that don't know, there is a planetary alignment right now. Yes, I could pull that up. I have to find it. I should probably keep it just on my keyboard. Oh, I do have it on my thing. Oh, never mind. So let's start out with that. Let's look at our planetary alignment for today. Today is the 24th, and you can see we are planetary alignment with the Sun, Mercury, the Moon, Earth, Jupiter, and Neptune's just a little bit down here. But this is the planetary alignment that people have been talking about, the 923. I've seen a lot of people in the news or in my news feed talking about 923 being the sign of revelation. That's not true. That was back in 2017. But nonetheless, I do think it was important. I think it was a milestone. It was a marker of type. All right. So let's get into the news. So I've sent you a couple of things, Ernie, and they were very concerning, weren't they?
Yes, and I wanted to apologize to everybody with my voice. I have been under the weather. So bad I had to go to the hospital for the first time in over a decade. So bear with me here.
You're continuing to get better. You do sound better than you did the other day, though.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. First thing that you sent me was this: military coup in China. Xi Jinping under house arrest since returning from SEO meet in Beijing is under military seizure, says Chinese social media reports. Beijing is now fortress. Train and flights canceled. Former Pres Hu Jintao controlling affairs to stop Xi from third term. So when you sent me that, I was like, I wonder what this is going on. So I did some digging, and I came across a live feed on YouTube where it was from India, and they completely showed military forces entering Beijing. Also, we have uncovered that flights have been canceled.
Yeah, let me pull that one up real quick for us. Give me just a second. I've got quite a few things pulled up for us. First off, I have the Twitter feed that led us to the flights. Absolutely no flights over Beijing currently. All trains and in and out of Beijing canceled, even buses. Something is seriously going on currently with the CCP. So, immediately, what did I do? Well, I got to our flight radar, and I'm going to show you guys, because we don't take the word of anything or anybody. We do our own research here. And
Sure
as
do.
you can see, this is currently the situation in China. And this is down from a while ago when we first looked at it, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we thought it was because the mountainous regions, you don't see many flights over that.
You see very few flights over Himalayan mountains. You'll never see an airplane flying in this area, and if you do, it's a red flag. But so we looked at it, and come in here and zoom in here on Beijing, and we literally got 1, 2, 3, 4 flights, and 2 are in the process of leaving that area.
Very weird, as Daisy Noah says.
Well, it verifies, it validates them saying that the flights have been canceled in that area. So we did a little bit more digging and research, and we came up with this. This is currently what's going on. Also, footage coming out of Beijing. Let's take a look, shall we?
日楼都在晃，太球了！我靠，原子弹吗？这是！我操！楼上玻璃碎了，我操！这是飞机看到了。楼也塌了，我靠！哪个炸了？我也知道。
That was a pretty massive explosion coming out of Beijing. So I don't know what's going on there.
We don't have any whereabouts of
that
explosion occurred.
No, We just have what's here. It says footage coming out of Beijing during the China coup against Jinping. So let's take a look at some news articles. Now, you said this went mainstream, right?
Yes, it did. It's actually all over the news. A quick Google search will come up with numerous articles.
Yeah.
As
Jinping
we
is
see
actually
here.
trending online right now. So if you put in hashtag Jinping, you will pull up everything there is out there. It says trends online amid coup rumors, canceled flights. Chinese President Jinping became one of the top trending topics on Twitter amid its unsubstantiated reports he is under house arrest and that China is in the midst of a military coup. Jinping and the phrase hashtag China coup trended on social media after tens of thousands of users spread unconfirmed rumors that the president was detained and overthrown by China's People's Liberation Army. The speculation, which has not been discussed in any reputable sources, that's not true, since has been, arrived and there are hardly any commercial flights flying over Beijing, capital Beijing, on Saturday, with unverified reports claiming that all trains and buses were also being canceled out of Beijing. Hold on a second. That is really not true because the Epoch Times has also picked it up, and so has mainstream media has actually picked it up. Let's go to the Epoch Times. Talking about mass cancellations of flights across China, reason unclear. Nearly 60% of flights across China were canceled, and it's started on Wednesday. So this has been working its way up for the past 3 days.
So I was correct when I was telling you that there have been like shipping cancellations as well as other freight haltages going on in China right now.
Right. Michael Graham says the bomb is old footage. Well, I can't verify nor deny that. I don't know. If you have, it's from 2015. Well, I can't confirm nor deny that. I don't know. I'm just putting out there what is trending across right now. This was as of 12:34 p.m. I don't have the capability of knowing whether that's true or false. I don't know.
But the most important thing is something very significant is going on in China right now, and this is something that we all need to keep our eyes on.
Absolutely, especially, this could be, if you look back on history, Ernie, it's pretty minute events that have catapulted us into world wars.
Absolutely.
When you look at Ferdinand, I mean, his assassination was significant, but not enough to put us into a world war. Okay. Same with the other things that have happened that have catapulted us into war. So this could very easily escalate. I find it interesting that Jinping had just met with Putin recently, talking about they met in Uzbekistan. When was it? Earlier this month. They met on the 7th or 8th of September. Putin and Jinping met in Uzbekistan amid frayed relations with the West. Let's pull that article up so we can take a look at it real quick. Russian President Vladimir Putin and Chinese President Jinping are expected to meet next week in Uzbekistan for talks that could signal another step in warming ties between the two powers that are increasingly facing off against the West. So they met earlier this month, and just in the last couple of days, when Russian President Putin went live to talk to his people, he's now making it more difficult for military to to say no. They don't want to be in the military. They don't want to fight. Russia stiffens penalty for surrender or refusal to fight to 10 years in prison. Putin introduces a law just days after announcing huge reservist call-up, sparking rare public protest. Deputy Defense Minister replaced amid Ukrainian territorial gains. Russia on Saturday, its toughest penalties for voluntary surrender and refusal to fight, with up to 10 years imprisonment, and replaced its top logistics general after a series of setbacks to its 7-month war in Ukraine. So Russia is now making it harder for these young adults just to say no more. Didn't we also, Ernie, see where they were not allowing 18 to 55-year-old?
I think it's 65.
I thought it was, okay, maybe 60. Yeah, 18 to 65-year-olds were not allowed to leave the country now. They're not allowed to travel or to leave Russia or its territories.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to respond to Tarun here. Yeah, they did threaten first forceful responses, but what we're discussing is something that's going on within their country here, and this is based off of intel that numerous sources have uncovered, as well as what we have uncovered from the flight logs. There's no flight going to or from Beijing right now, so there's something going on within China, as far as like. And we obviously know that, the people of China have been upset with how things have been going on, especially with the lockdowns too. So there's a lot of things that could be adding up. That's something that could be going on within its own borders. So whether or not they're planning on something, against us or any other threats against the West, that's something up in the air. But what we see here is there's something going on in their own country that they're trying to take care of right now.
Yeah,
and from the looks of it's not good.
It's internal strife right now, it looks like. I don't think any other country has involvement in it. I have not seen that. I've seen it. It's completely and totally internal. So my question would be, Ernie, is if 3 hours ago, if they warned against external interference with Taiwan, do you think that's just a smoke shield? What do you think? I mean, I don't believe that the military can be performing a coup over the current government in China and also start flexing itself in Taiwan.
To be honest with you, I really don't know. I mean, the author confusion is very strong right now, and it's hard to see past anything that's going on. So, I mean, just looking on paper, I mean, normal people can't do two major things at once. They have to focus on one thing. And if their own government is falling apart, then they're going to have to fix that before they can move on to something else.
Exactly. And I mentioned to you before in our private message, I said that we need to remember one thing. China is notorious for putting out misinformation and disinformation. Remember back in 2020 when we saw those dead bodies lining the streets of China, when we saw, people, having convulsions and all of that stuff in the street, and I mean, that was all BS.
Right.
Yes, I do believe that, Charles. Misdirection to take everybody's focus off of something bigger. The question is what? What don't they want us to see? It's a Saturday. I don't know. Sentinel says, could it be the beginning of the civil war in China? Hell, it very well could be. Again, the timing is auspicious, to say the least.
Very suspicious, especially after Xi Jinping and Putin met just a few weeks ago.
My concern right now is regarding that meeting. How close are they? And would Putin defend Jinping?
It's a good question. But how will he be able to when he is focusing on Ukraine?
I know, right? Exactly, exactly. This is live coverage. It looks like convoys are entering Beijing at the moment. Let's take a listen and see what we can hear here, shall we?
That this video that has been widely shared, it's being touted as something that shows a line of military vehicles up to 80 kilometers long that is heading into Beijing. It's not confirmed when or where it was essentially filmed, or that whether this convoy is heading into Beijing as part of a military coup. But what's important to point out here is also the fact that there is absolutely no word coming in from the Chinese mouthpiece. So what's really happening right now in China with the number of flight cancellations only increasing, as my colleague Niranjan was also pointing out. Professor Nalapat is joining us on this broadcast. Professor Nalapat, I just want to quickly bring our attention to this entire coup that is being spoken about. But what's very surprising is that for those who have been tracking the PLA technically does not really come under the government. It comes under the party, given the fact that it's part of the Central Military Commission. So the Chinese president, of course, has a stronger hold on it. Many would say that there's something brewing, but whether it's going to be an armed coup or not, it's very difficult to say.
Well, Shravan, taking off from what Prashant Sareen, who has really studied this a lot, like some of us have, China, the PLA. First of all, from Mao's time, it is very clear the party controls the gun. And the party is controlled by the General Secretary. That's Xi Jinping. So any rumors about a coup, I think, are simply rumors. There is one explanation for this, and that is that this is a major military exercise. And a major military exercise to plan for a contingency in which China gets embroiled in a major war on either the Himalayan Massif. Hence, you can explain, for example, the closures over Lhasa airspace or across the Taiwan Straits, and possibly you'll see a lot of flights cancelled to Taiwan. If so, it could be that the PLA is rehearsing what would need to be done inside China in the advent of that kind of a military attack, especially if, as is extremely likely, that the country that is being attacked will not stand alone, but will immediately get other countries to support. Far more involved, and Russia has already said it is not going to be involved. Actually, that's welcome news, because normally Russia would be an ally of China. But in the case of India, because of Prime Minister Modi's diplomacy, Russia under Putin has said, if there is a war with China, then we will be neutral. We will not support China. Whereas on Taiwan, Putin and Xi will go together. So it could be a very large military drill. And that could be to impress the delegates who are coming for this party congress. But anything else, any other thing, in my view, is unlikely. And these are reports put out by people who have been traditionally known to put out reports that the CCP is going to collapse today, tomorrow, day after, day after. Well, I'm sorry, but the CCP seems in no danger of collapse.
Right. Professor Nalapat, as far as Chinese politics is concerned, it's the blackest of black boxes. So very difficult to essentially decipher. But it's undoubtedly extremely interesting. And perhaps the concern area as far as India is concerned.
So I pulled up, while he was talking, I pulled up the flight tracker again, and we have zero. We now have 0 flights over Beijing.
So I don't think it's an exercise, not on this scale.
See what I'm doing here?
Yep.
There's hardly any flights in China, period, Ernie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's completely gone. Wow. Yeah, looks like all the airplanes are pretty much heading away.
Out. Heading out. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
now
only
we go.
for like in the Beijing area when we first looked at it. Now that it's updated, the whole country.
They're actually flying. Looks like they're detouring them up north from this airport here, wherever this is. It looks like they're heading up north. See this?
Yeah.
But here's Beijing. There's nothing in Beijing, guys. Literally nothing flying over this area in Beijing. That, I mean, we cannot confirm the buses. They've said that the buses have been starting, or they've been canceled for a few days for transportation in Beijing. We cannot confirm that, but we can confirm that the flights, it looks like they've been canceled. Yeah, wars and room. Oops.
That could definitely be a possibility. Yeah.
Wow, Danielle, I didn't even think of that. Could be. Could be. Wow, my imagination can go all different sorts of ways on that one.
Yep.
Well,
so question is, when you restrict airspace, what goes on involving that? Now, are there like military planes encircling the country, protecting travel in and out of the country, or are they receiving like alerts via, like messages or stuff like that? I'm not very familiar with this type of.
I'm not either. Darn it! I wish I would have thought about this. I could have gotten our friendly pilot from Florida to come on and talk with us. I don't even know. I haven't talked to him in a minute.
It's very interesting, especially on a countrywide scale.
Mm-hmm.
Because any military exercise, I mean, that can be done without closure of an entire country.
Absolutely, it can be. Of course. Yes, absolutely. I don't know. I have a couple of things running through my head. We're gonna have to keep an eye on it. I'm not gonna put out what I'm thinking because it's not good.
I don't think any of this is any good, to be honest.
No, I don't think any of this is any good. Let's see what the current time is, and this will be current time. Beijing is 4:31 p.m. on Sunday. So they're heading into nighttime in Beijing. Let me see if, you know what? Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me see if I can get cameras. World camera. Beijing live streets.
Thank you, Danielle. Saying it's done by orders and enforced by air traffic controllers. Usually military air traffic controllers take over the seats.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
That's why I love you guys so much. You guys always are right there. World Cam. Okay, let's see if I can get World Cam. That's Hubei, Beijing. That's not even, I want the city. Beijing, Tiananmen Square. Let me see if I can get that one. Oh, I don't know if this is live or not. So hold on. Nope, that's not live. All right, let's do this. World Cam Live. Okay, we got Hong Kong, Times Square. I don't see. There's Tokyo. I have the rolling cam. Let's see if one of them is. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, let's see. Hold on a minute. We've got USA, Venice, Italy, Holland, Amsterdam, Ukraine, Odessa.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to say a couple of things here too.
Sure, go ahead.
With the stuff that's going on in China, I definitely believe it is a distraction. And
Oh, yeah.
something is telling me that something is going to be happening here too. So please, guys, check your surroundings. Make sure you got stuff prepared, because we are in the final hour of things to come, and stuff is not going to get any easier. I don't know if those of you who kept an eye on stocks, it fell hundreds of points yesterday.
Oh gosh, yeah. Stock market tanked yesterday.
It bombed quite a bit.
Steven's telling you to check your messenger. Yeah, it absolutely tanked yesterday. I don't know if you guys were aware of that or watching that. Now, I heard yesterday there was something going on in China, but it was unconfirmed, and I couldn't confirm it until today. And I do want to thank Marcus Kaiser for informing me about this and sending me the links. But I was notified yesterday by my friend Kenny that there was something brewing. What do you got?
Sentinel literally just sent me a message saying that plane tickets to China was surged and there's no flights available. And even for different dates, nothing.
So, okay, once again, confirmation. We always like, multiple sources to confirm what we're saying. So, all right, well, we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to definitely watch for breaking news and keeping an eye out on Twitter. I'm actually going to drop the links in our research chat to see if we can maybe get some of us around the clock to watch this. We all live in different time zones, so maybe we can get that. I'm also going to get a hold of Robbie and see what he knows. Maybe BBC is reporting something different over there.
Normally we'll be way more prepared, but something as urgent as this, I told Lori to drop what she's doing. Let's get on the show and broadcast this out, because we've heard about this day for a couple of weeks now, and it's popping off pretty good, and the day's not over yet.
Exactly. It's not. Yeah, exactly. Usually we are much more prepared, and we do apologize for us seeming like we are not prepared, but I pulled up everything that we had. China's locking down country to possibly invade Taiwan. Watch the ships to see if they stopped them coming into ports. Okay, I'll keep an eye on that, Charles. Thank you. SF Airlines just took off from Beijing. It's a national carrier. Let's take a look. If it's there, we should be able to see it. All right, let me ask you a question. Did it take off from Beijing, or did it take off from Beijing Capital International Airport? Because there's different airports. We're talking about airspace over Beijing. That's what we're talking about. Airspace over Beijing. Yeah, if they stop the ships. Okay, well, you know what? I can pull that up too. Let me do my ship tracker.
They might be going to them now.
All right, let's look up our marine traffic. Now, marine traffic is going to be different. This is not going to give us an immediate look at what's going on, but it will give us a starting point where we can take a look at this, and then within the next few hours, we can also take another look at it. Because if you can see, all the ports, especially around Beijing or around China. Let's pull up Beijing. Yeah, look at it. It's completely, it's flooded in there. To notice anything significant happening in the ports, you would have had to have started weeks ago to give some sort of starting point as to what's happening. Yeah. We can't go to war. You're not have the industry to build anything for them. Is that the truth? All right, Ernie, we're going to keep an eye out on that.
Yes, we are. Guys, get into prayer. Get the Bibles open. Application is it's time to armor up.
Exactly. If we need to come live again, we will. If we don't hear from us, that's good news. Okay, no news is good news when it comes to a private jet from the Iranian government just landed in Beijing. Interesting. Okay, thank you, Kevin. There's the registration on it. If any of you out there want to do a little bit of research, I do also, before we stop, I do want to bring something to your attention as well. Ernie, I talked about the other day, Poland was handing out iodine pills.
Yes.
To the people, to first responders, hospital personnel, and government personnel. And now they have just started passing them out to the public. So this is also something we need to keep an eye on as well, because this is they're worried about the nuclear power plant meltdown in the Ukraine. So for the government to be handing out iodine pills, like I said, it was originally to the first responders, to the police, to the fire, and to the hospital personnel. Now they've expanded that, and they are now giving it to the general population. So I do want to thank everybody for joining us. I do want to thank everybody in the chat room and our moderators. If you do not hear back from us, like I said, that means good news. So if you don't hear from us tonight, we will be back tomorrow night, right, Ernie?
Yes, we will. We got an amazing broadcast to go over. What was it, Princess Catherine, right?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the new Princess of Wales, Catherine. Let me just pull this up. We're going to be talking with our good friend Joy Pugh. She's going to be talking with us about the new Princess of Wales. Let me put this up. MIDD. Hold on a second. I got to pull this up. MIDD. Come on. There we go. Let me just pull this up for us. This was for tomorrow night. We're going to talk about William and Kate. It's interesting how every time we have Joy on, our conversation progresses just to the point where we get to Kate, and then we have to end the broadcast because we've come up on the 2-hour mark. This has happened a couple of times. Tomorrow night is going to be dedicated strictly and solely to William, actually to Kate, to Catherine Middleton, and we're going to talk about her position, her importance in these end times. And in order, I tell you guys this all the time, in order to understand the future, you need to go back in time, and that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at the past and how that is going to validate this future for Will.i.am and Kate in these end times, biblical end times. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Guys, keep an eye on this space. We will be monitoring this very, very closely, and in case something arises, we will be back on. So please hit that bell for all notifications, and please click that like button for us. We really appreciate that.
Okay, we would. All right, I do like again. I would like to thank everybody in the chat room. Thank our moderators for joining us. And remember, guys, what do we always tell you?
Eyes open, no fear.
Absolutely.